Okay, how to do your digital painting. So first off, let's start with your practice painting. Okay, so you need to find this photo or this image and download it. Okay, and what you're going to do once you have it open, you are going to create a blank layer that's going to sit right on top of that. So I'm just going to go down to the bottom of my layers palette down here, find that little plus sign and click on it. So now I have this blank layer right here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my brush tool and I'm going to set it up how I like it. So I'm going to use like a 10 pixel brush. I'm going to keep my hardness right now at 100%. Actually, I'm going to bring it down just a little bit, maybe between 70 and 100%. Keep my opacity and my flow up to 100. Smoothing should be, mine says 10%, and that's totally fine. Okay, so how do we get started with this? So I have, this is going to be that method, that option 1 method, where you're using a photo as your base, okay? And what this provides for you is you don't have to like really be able to draw to do it. So on your keyboard, your left hand's going to be super active, and you should locate on your keyboard where the Alt key is. Now, if I click on the Alt key while I'm on my brush tool, it will automatically default to an eyedropper tool. And if I click, right, you can see that the foreground color over here turns red. Now, if for some reason it's turning the background color, make sure you just click on the foreground color one time just to make sure that it's like active and it knows that it should go there. Okay, so if I click on that Alt key and I hold it down, anywhere I click, it's going to change the color. Okay, so I could go to green, but every time it's going to like select that color over here. Okay, now the trick of this, at least what I've found, is that the more often I do that, the more accurate my painting is going to look like. Okay, so I'm just going to start with basically the perimeter of this, kind of like get like a contour line drawing. So I'm just going to start, and I'm just going to kind of go around, and then maybe I'm going to like because notice how the color's starting to not be super accurate. I'm going to click again here and just kind of continue it along. Maybe click there and just kind of get this color. And notice I'm being careful, but not like crazy careful. Okay. I just want to get this outline down there, and that way I can kind of come back and, because it's still going to be a painting. I don't really want it to look like a photo necessarily. Oops. Okay, so I'm going around, and then you'll just keep on doing that. You'll get all of it. Get your perimeter painted. I'm just going to do half of it right now just so we can kind of get this ball rolling, right? Kind of getting all that there. Good enough for me. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the brush size, and I'm going to kind of like start blocking in some color. Okay, this time when I do that, so like let's take a look. This is what I've done. That's all that I've done. Okay, it's gonna feel like you do a lot more, but every now and then you're gonna have to turn off your background layer just so you can see what you've actually done. So on back to that layer 1, I am gonna bring my flow down to about 36%. Okay, I'm gonna come in here, and like I said, I'm using a larger brush. I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna start blocking in some of this color. Okay. And if you're using a really tiny brush, I would suggest you not, because this will take forever. And don't be afraid of overlapping colors. Okay, that's how you blend things. We'll talk about that more in just a second. Okay, maybe get a smaller brush to get this highlight up here. Okay, so again, notice that I feel like I got so much. Okay, and then when I turn this off, you can see what I've actually done. It's not all that much, right? Now at this point, what I kind of like to do is I like to grab just a slightly larger brush, and I'll kind of start coming in, and I might, sample that color again, and then start getting the paint in there, Maybe I'll get some of that color so I can kind of bring it in. I know that was going on. And so I want to start blending it. You right now, like as it is, if you look really close, you can kind of see the circles. And I don't like that a whole lot, which means the hardness is set too high. So I'm going to bring that back down a little bit because I want to start blending some of this. Okay. And notice that it pretty much takes it away. Okay. But I do want to, so the way you're going to blend, if I zoom in a little bit, you can see this. Now notice if I take this color right here, right, and I go over here, let's say if I bring my flow down even more. If I go over here, you can kind of see that it changes the color, but not so much. So then I can sample that new color and start using it to blend. Okay, so basically what it is, let's do this so we can really get a look at this. If I take a color, right, and then I take another color and I put it over here, right? And if I bring them close to each other, that, and I bring the flow down, okay, like way down, notice how it changes it. So now if I sample that color that has both of them, I can kind of bring that in, and I can kind of sample that and bring that over. And you'll start to see that by doing that, by using these low flow like paint over each other, it will allow you to blend like a little bit more seamlessly from one color to the next. And that's what you want to do. Okay. So when you're blending, that's how that works. You're constantly using this really low flow, adding one color on top of the other, sampling the new color, and then basically going from there. Okay. So, when you're really trying to put the color down though, you kind of need to keep that flow up. Otherwise it will take you forever. So it's a lot of going back and forth. So just keep that in mind. And I'm using the colors that I've already put in here. Now, if I ever want to start coming back to these colors, I can totally do that. That's easy. I can come in here and just start using some of these colors. Okay, because they're all still there. Oops, maybe didn't like that one. Okay, so I could spend a whole lot of time on this, which I'm not going to because it wouldn't be very exciting for you to watch. But I do want you just to understand right now I'm blending some color in. Okay, I'm trying to shade that a little bit. And I do find that it's a little easier to do that when I get rid of the photo layer. Because it'll allow me to actually see what I'm doing. So that I have to do a lot. Now, when you turn this in, this part's important. You are going to be getting rid of the background. So all you're going to have is what this looks like. So as good as it's going to look when you're like here, you're going to be like, oh, I'm like really good at this. Once you turn that off, this is what you're going to turn in. So spending time on the painting and not just the painting over the photo is going to be super helpful for you, because otherwise you'll never know how good or not so great it is. Okay. Now I'm going to show you a couple of other people's. Okay. So this was their photo to start. This was their painting on top. And I always make people put a black layer in between so you can really see what it's going to look like. Okay. So these all take 4 solid work days to complete. Okay, so please make sure you're not wasting time. Again, this is the photo. This is the painting on top. Put that black layer. You kind of see what the actual painting looks like. This one, I don't have the original, but it's very clear that it was painted, so that's okay. This is with the photo. This is without the photo. Okay, so that is how you're going to do this. Let's say I wanted to paint this, and this is my new photo. The first thing I would do is I would start with my blank layer, and then I would start mapping it out. You know, I'd get my brush and I would just go for it. I wouldn't even I would just start clicking, right? There's my Alt key. There's my new color, and just kind of like, okay, I'm going to put that color here. You know, I'm going to put it, just paint it, go for it. Something that I can tell you that would be helpful is always paint in the direction of it, like down here in this little grass area. I don't know if I'd paint every single little piece, but I would probably like try to at least get the texture down as best I could. Right now I'm painting with my mouse. Okay, totally possible. Some people prefer it. I've done entire digital paintings with just my mouse, and I'm good with that. But sometimes you might want to use a Wacom tablet. That's basically like a pen and a stylus. Some people don't like that, and the reason why they don't like it is because it's a little awkward to use it, and you guys don't have a lot of experience with that. But if you did want to try it, you can definitely do that when I'm around. Okay, so anyways, this is all I've done, right? I highly recommend keeping your flow up to 100% while you're getting color down. Okay, that's what you need to do. That way it doesn't feel like you're just not doing anything. Okay. This is going to be basically a project on effort. If it looks like you spent 30 minutes on it, okay, you're not going to get a good grade, and this is your final. Okay, so your final is going to take, like I said, I want it to look like you spent 4 classes on it, minimum. 4 classes. If you want to come in on your own time to work a little bit more, great, you can do that. If not, then it needs to look like the full 4 classes. Okay, if I'm not in your class when this is, when you are just getting started on this, please text me, and I will get back to you guys as soon as I can. Okay? I hope this was helpful. I hope. I'll see you all soon.